Hi folks, I'm Mark Rudin. Welcome back to Nomad Boatbuilding. Now we are working on the 2.4 meter project, and today we are going to start building this model. Now I really love model building, and I feel like it's one of the best ways to get started on a project because it really gets your head in the game and it gets you familiar with your plans in a way that you won't get just staring at them. Once you actually have to start working from them, you really learn so much more about what you have in front of you. You can almost sort of get a dry run of the actual building project. Now normally when I'm doing models, I usually do solid half models using what we call the bread and butter method. That means taking slices of the boat, usually through the water lines, cut them out, stack them up, glue them together, and then carve away all the pointy bits until you have a nice smooth round bit that looks like your boat. Now, the reason I'm not doing that with this is because the plans I have don't have any water lines on them. I've only got buttock lines, which you can still build a half model from, but it's not quite as effective or as straightforward. And in fact, even the buttock lines I have on my plans don't tell me how far apart they are. So the only thing I really have that's consistent are the station molds. So I'm going to be building a planked up model like this, which is something I never do. So that's going to be kind of a fun, new, interesting project for me. And it's going to give us a chance to test drive our planking methods as well. So that's one of the really important things about it. Now, let's go get back to work. And so what I'm doing is I'm just laying out a backing board in which to set up some molds. So I've basically got a water line drawn on here. And now I'm just going to draw on my station spacing. Got an oddball station here which is just referred to as X. So I've got to find that. 234.7. 234. Better mark that one. There we go. I'm just going to mark where my keel lands. 363.378. That's kind of tricky. Basically 363 and a half. Okay. And then it peels off at 15 degrees from the vertical. My main profile drawing is at quarter scale, but when I printed out my station molds in order to make this little model, they came out at sort of an oddball number of 0.213, which means I got to do a whole bunch of little calculations to take any information from that profile drawing and use it for this model. It probably would have been a good idea to keep playing around with those printouts until I got them exactly to quarter scale, but I didn't feel like it was really worth my time. And for the purpose of this model, it's really not that important. There we go. There's our keel. Okay, that's about all the calculations I can work with now in terms of working down from another scale drawing. So now I'm stuck with these printouts that I'm going to use to create my stations. I think I'm just going to lay out my layout at least where the keel lands. The shear marks I've given here, they don't really, I guess I can try laying them out. I don't really trust them, but they don't give me sort of a crosshair to work from. It's just sort of where a line terminates in the drawing. This is something I really dislike about computer-generated drawings. You know, the computer knows everything, so they don't have to tell you anything. Okay, got some lines laid out. I'm going to use some push pins here actually to mark out these points, just for the fun of it. No, okay, that's not working so well. Just go with the ducks. I got and HB. Okay. Okay, so there's that. Then I've got a second line up here. I guess I'm going to have to figure out. It looks like maybe it terminates at X, right at the water line. That's all I really got to work with, so I guess we'll do that. So I got my nice little flexible plastic batten here, which is great for most lines, but when I need something just a little more rigid, I pull out a wooden batten. My hook isn't quite grabbing that in there. Here's a trick for you. If your hooks aren't quite touching, put a little shim underneath the back end of your ducks. Such a straight shear line. It's something I don't really love about these racy type boats. You know, I feel like they sacrifice so much character for the sake of meeting some particular specifications. Yeah, interesting. My number 14 mole station doesn't really jive very well. Probably need to do add a little English to the back end here to get that curve right. Ooh, this could be tricky. So it's important that you continue your line a little ways, just to make sure everything's jiving up. This really wants to sweep hard and high. Might have to go over to ship sweeps to get this line. Alright. Yeah, it doesn't look quite right, so I'm going to have to play around and get some ship sweeps and we'll see if we can't tweak that a bit. So you may ask, why am I going through this trouble? And well, part of it is telling me a bit about, just exactly how good a job the designer did. It's also telling me whether or not I need to be aware of certain elements before I start drawing. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm hitting my station. No, I'm not even hitting my one doing that. Damn it. Okay, I'm going to have to try and scale off that drawing again, I think. So let's give ourselves a station mark here. So 30. Let's give myself a partial station here so it jives up with that. Okay, so how high is that off of our load water line? Hilarious. So just where it landed exactly where I was eyeballing it. Okay, well, I guess my eye is king here. I've always found it amazing how much one sweep will make a difference. Like the tiniest bit of curve, and you cannot quite get it with one sweep. They look, almost identical, and yet they're not. Okay, I'm just going to create a quick and dirty little mold here, I think. Just going to lay a little bead of glue on here. Wish it were this fast to lay up a regular keel. That ought to work pretty good, I think. Don't need this back here. I really hope I'm not gluing this down to my board. I might just raise this up a hair. We'll do that just to make sure. We'll lay up this one over here too, so. I just wanted to have something to lay my planking against because I'll probably strip plank this. So there needs to be some kind of meat there in between the stations, I think. Alright, very good. Okay, that's it for today. We're going to continue this project in the next video. So I really want to thank all of my supporters on Patreon for their help. And if you'd like to see these videos continue, if you'd like to help us out, you can join us over on Patreon. There'll be links in the description, or up here there'll be a little thingy that pops up. Just click on that. Now, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you know when the next video is out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later.